Welcome back, friends and family. Crypto Winter is here and DeFi Elite too. So before we do anything, I would love to show you something first. 2 months ago, I started making the videos and warning you that we are entering the most dangerous zone of the cycle. If the trend breaks, it can turn into 2022 again. I said with this funny, ugly face, if BTC under 50k, what's your strategy? And guys, ta-da! The market dropped. Almost half of my community didn't move into stablecoins, even after all of the warnings. Guys, please stop being exit liquidity. Listen my videos. Just listen it till the end. So while the market was still high risk, my public portfolio moved to stables. Step by step, it became 100% stablecoins. Not because I'm genius. Maybe yes? No. Many dumb decisions to be a genius. That's only one thing. It's because I obsessed with surviving this end of the cycle. So to buy back and take the profit in the next cycle. Why? Because last time I lost 70% of my portfolio in 2022. Maybe after that, you guys will watch my video till the end and subscribe to my channel. So what about the agenda? For today, in this video, we will start, of course, as usual, with the market analytics. We will try to define where's the bottom of this market. Then we will speak about how long this winter can last and what actually would invalidate the bearish scenario. Then I will share with you my full plan, how I'm gonna turn 200k into $1 million on the next cycle peak. Actually very huge numbers, but I feel as close as possible to this because we are in the very good discounted zone on the BTC and ETH. And finally, I will show you how I'm gonna do my first Bitcoin purchase and how I move it to real custody. So let's go. Part 1. BTC is cheap, but actually can get cheaper. So right now we are in a very cheap zone. I call it cheap zone. We've been in, let's say, expensive zone here, or someone called it fair value, but I think it's expensive. And about that, when we was at 126k, it was actually the overheated zone. And guys, during the real crypto winter, cheap zone could be even cheaper. Historically, in a bear market, we often trade below the 200-week moving average, as we can see here. This is that line. So we could go even under this line. And the question is, how deep does winter go? Base case could be under 200-week moving average. Still, the stress case could be even deeper. And as we see, it already happens during the last cycle. So we could go to 50, even to 40, 45, even to 38k in a very stressed scenario. So that's, I think, where are the deepest deep could be. I'm not saying this to scare you. I'm saying this to prepare you again, so you could understood that actually the bear market is not a number and the bottom is not a number. It's a zone where you're going to be able to accumulate BTC. Then the next question, how long can winter last? In previous cycle, it took around a year actually from the trend break here till the meaningful recovery here. So all of this time was very painful year. Will it be exactly the same this time? Probably not. My assumption, winter can be from 6 to 10 months from the trend break to first real recovery attempt. So during this time, we actually had a good opportunity to buy, as I said. So let's do the sentiment check. We are right now in extreme fear. And I want to notice something very important. Extreme fear doesn't automatically mean the bottom. Sometimes it means the start of the real bear market is as it was during the last cycle here. So basically we are just entering the extreme fear zone. And that's actually what drains people mentality. Not one big red candle, but the months of anxiety. Next one, institutional psychology. Let's think about them. They are actually comparing our BTC market with all of these ETF inflows to the stock market. So they're comparing it to S&P 500, to gold, to the total companies in the market. And right now with them, everything is fine. So the market, the global market are rising. BTC and crypto market are falling, and they are actually sitting in losses. What they're feeling right now, how do you think? Their portfolio right now costs twice lower just in 2 months. So such a case, let's be honest, such a case is not often for the stock market. The new institutional blood, which came a year before on ETF opening, right now sits in pain, in very big pain. So yes, there is absolutely could be another one bottom, another one leg down, especially if the demand on ETF stays flat while the fear stays very high in our sentiment. So this is the thing. One quick notice about ETH and the company treasuries. Actually, one thing which I'm watching right now, there is a bit of the signal because they still buying Ethereum. They're not buying Sol, they're not buying BTC. And if in the future ETFs gonna enable staking yield from ETH, that can be a change flows. So that's not a guarantee, but this is the idea. And finally, our next cycle and next hype could be around the utility, around the DeFi economy, not around all of those stupid meme coins and gambling things. This is what I want to see on the market personally. How I want to turn my 200K into 1 million. That's the next chapter. So let's start firstly from my results. My public portfolio, which tracked fully on chain on my platform called DeFi Capital. You could check everything here from the very beginning, how I start from the 100K till the current numbers. So all of this is made to do the showcase that it's possible to grow the portfolio on investment. So my result, I started from 100,000 on 4 of April 2024. BTC those time cost 69K per BTC. Now right now I have 200,038K. 9 of February 2026. BTC costs the same 66K. My portfolio right now is sitting across the stablecoins and stocks. 215K in stablecoins and 23K in stocks. Yes, I started invested in stocks. Why? Because right now stock market feels more safe than the crypto market. If I just held BTC the entire time, I'd be roundly flat. Instead, I outperformed BTC on 138%. And that's actually the whole philosophy. It was based on structured moves, on the categories, on the portfolio building. So please, guys, if you want to learn more, you could go to DeFi Capital and check all of my reports about the portfolio in crypto. And of course, and the stock investments, I do have reports too. So let's get back. And now the most important part. Here is my target. My target right now is to have a $1 million for the next 3 years. That's about 4.2x. Actually, very big number. And I don't need any magic. I don't want to do any gamble. I need a strategy. And here is my strategy. First of all, let's eliminate fake options. Let's remove what doesn't work. If I'm gonna sit only in stable coins, which is very safe and could generate me 15% APR, I'm not gonna achieve this result. Basically, it's just not enough. Then I could go to perpetual futures. With perpetual futures, I could, but until I get liquidated once and lost everything. Or I could go to DeFi for 3 years, gambling in the different protocols, hoping on the airdrops, but basically protocol risks, smart contract risks, and narrative risks. So I wanna sleep well. So what's left? We need to have exposure to the volatile asset. What kind of volatile asset? Could be BTC, of course, could be ETH, but with controlled custody risk, controlled entry timing, and controlled leverage. Only later, only on the lending protocol, on chain in DeFi, no centralized exchanges. So this is my core idea here, is to accumulate BTC and ETH right now until the next cycle peak. So let's actually build a realistic scenario here. This is very interesting. I even could call it let's do an adult version of bottom and peak for the current cycle and for the next cycle. So potentially, winter bottom could be 66K as we're sitting right now, or could be even lower. But let's do the cycle math. So 2018, the peak was 20K and the bottom was 3.5K, minus 83%. Then 2022, the peak 69K, the bottom 16K, minus 76%. We grew up 3.4x from 20K to 69K. Then 2026, the peak, as we know, 126K, and we grew up 1.8x, almost 2x. But this is the question. So what gonna be the next peak? Could we grow up as same from 2018 to 2022, or as same from 2022 to 2026? I think no. Why? Because we do need more liquidity, and the crypto is growing and the market cap is growing, and to achieve the same growth between previous cycles, we need a lot of money. So I want to be conservative, and let's say we could grow to 1.5x. So we could go to 200K, for example. Then let's think about the bottom. First of all, I don't want to get, let's say, a lowest number and go all in with this lowest number. I'm thinking about the bottom, not like about the number, but like about the zone. And we are, as I said right now, minus 50% at 66K. Could we go lower, for example, than the last cycle, minus 76%, or even minus 83? We could, but unlikely. What it could be minus 60%, 51K, or minus 70%, 38K. So I think the average price for me, which is fine, is 50K per BTC. And if you buy well in the winter, Bitcoin alone can still give you meaningful multiplies. That's the key. And you're not trying to buy the bottom, you are trying to buy the zone, the winter market zone. This is what I want to do, and this is my goal. So here is the cleanest version. If I can accumulate around 4 BTC with the average price of 50K, it will cost me around 215, maybe 200K, maybe even the whole 238K. What could be the result? If the BTC gonna be 200K per BTC, I will have 800K in total. It's actually already dangerously close to $1 million without a casino risk. That's why I feel as close as possible to $1 million target for the public portfolio. And this is very interesting. So what I want to avoid during all of this time. So I don't want to be exposed to any tax. So no taxes. We're not going to use Binance, Coinbase, nothing. Only pure decentralized network and pure BTC on the wallet. Then I don't want to collect WBTC because I will have the risk of custody. I just need to trust WBTC that everything's going to be fine for the next 3 years. And no DeFi, at least for 2 years for this public portfolio and for this move. Of course, right now I still in stables and I will move from stables to BTC. While I have stable coins, they're going to sit in DeFi, especially in Syntropia. But in the end, I don't want to put my Bitcoin into DeFi until we gonna survive this bear market and some meaningful recovery gonna start. So that may push my portfolio to $1 million closely. Then after this, I could apply leverage, but very small, like 1.2x, 1.5x. And I will do this on the Llama Land or similar tool in decentralized network, very trusted, mostly with soft liquidation. So that's actually my plan. I'm gonna start with a dollar cost average buying. Then I'm gonna open up to 1.5, 1.2 leverage. And my end target could be 1 million or even $1.2 million. That's the idea. That's how I'm gonna do this. I will record all of this and share with you on the weekly digest. So let's talk a bit about how to store those BTC. Basically, guys, I recommend you to use Electrum. That's a BTC wallet, very old, looks like a government website, but if in crypto something looks like a government website and works for last 10 years, it's amazing. So basically, you could download an application and you could use it to store your BTC on Bitcoin network. No tax exposure, no DeFi, no yield, pure BTC. your keys, your coins. And I already prepared 28k actually to do my first purchase. I don't want to go all in right now. It's still 66k and we could go lower, as I said. So that's my first entry in the winter plan. And then once I buy it, I immediately move to Bitcoin wallet. This is the idea. And that's actually how investing looks like. You are like looking on the grass, which is growing. No vibes, no hope, a system. Just a simple, stupid system. That's it. No dumb moves. So here's the entire strategy on one breath. Winter started when trend broke. Bottom is a zone, is not a number. So you need to accumulate BTC in structured buys called dollar cost average. Then you need to keep your custody clean, sit in Bitcoin wallet on Bitcoin network, choose your own most trusted Bitcoin wallet. And then actually I wanna build 4 BTC portfolio with average price of 50k. Then I will put some small leverage like 1.2, 1.5%. If you want exact updates, allocations, you could go to deficapital.tech and check all of my reports. See you in the next weekly digest.